It's 160 days of the frenzied genocidal war against the Palestinian people. Many hopes lost as the war continues to endanger innocent citizens in Palestine. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, Abdullah Shawesh, gives a punchline, and I quote, "According to Jewish law, all Gaza residents must be killed."
According to the Jewish law, all Gaza residents must be killed. Rabbi Eliyahu Mali. This type of bloody incitement is fully tolerated by the Israeli Authority and is greatly welcomed and approved by wide audience. This is not the first time that Jewish rabbis have come out to publicly incite against innocent Palestinian people. It is noteworthy that Israel imprisoned any Palestinians simply because they sympathize with the victims of the war in social media under the pretext of incitement. The Israeli Jewish society is degrading into more radical and extremism. While the entire world stands against the invasion of Rafah, 75% of the Israeli Jewish are supporting this war crime. A new poll find that around three-quarters of the Jewish Israelis support an expansion of IDF operation in Gaza, southernmost city of Rafah, where more than half of the Strip, 2.3 million people, are sheltering in the area amid of ongoing war. As of today, March 14, there have been 31,272 murder and 73,024 injured, with 72% being children and women. More than 8,000 are still missing under the rubble, and in many cases Israel prevent the rescue teams from reaching them or even evacuated the dead bodies. The number of children reported killed in just 4 months in Gaza is higher than the number of children killed in 4 years of war around the world combined. This war is a war on children. It is a war in their childhood and their future. Filippo Razzini, Honorable Commissioner General. The death toll among infant children in Gaza due to malnutrition and drought has risen to 23. These are only the ones who reach the hospital and medical unit. Others may have been died at home and not been registered.
Speaking further, Abdullah Shawesh says UNRWA reports coerced some agencies' employees to falsely admit Hamas links. Under this title, wrote the Israeli newspaper Time of Israel, adding that the Israeli occupation spares no effort to kill the Palestinian people and has invented new ways to do so.
UNRWA report say Israel caused some agency employee to falsely admit Hamas link. Under this title, wrote the Israeli newspaper Time of Israel. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees say some employees released into Gaza from Israeli detention reported having been pressured by the Israeli Authority onto the falsely stating that the agency has Hamas link and that staff took part of the October 7 attack. The Israeli occupation spared no effort to kill the Palestinian people and have invented a new way to do so. One of these methods is preventing the entry of life-saving medical supply. The Honorable Commissioner General Filippo Razzini wrote on his Twitter account, and I quote, "Medical scissors are now added to the long list of banned items the Israeli Authority classify as for dual use. The list include basic and life-saving items, from an anesthesia, solar light, oxygen cylinder, and ventilator, to water cleaning tablet, cancer medicines, and maternity kits. regarding the airdrop of aid to starving Palestinians. Several Palestinians were killed earlier this week when one of the parachutes carrying such aid did not open properly and landed on the civilian at high speed. Not only does this Hollywood style ensure the continuation of the Israeli crime of genocide, but it is also come with some fraud to cover the ugly face of those who continue to supply Israel with the weapons and equipment with which to kill innocent Palestinians. Under the title U.S. flood arm to Israeli despite mounting alarm over war conduct, the Washington Post newspaper wrote, and I quote, Washington has approved more than 100 separate military sales to Israel since its invasion of Gaza, even as official complain Israeli leaders have not done enough to protect civilians. The United States have quietly approved and delivered more than 100 separate foreign military sales to the Israelis since the Gaza war began in October 7. The triple-digit figure which has not been previously reported, is the latest indication of Washington's extensive involvement in the polarizing 5-month conflict, even as the top U.S. official and lawmaker increasingly expressed deep reservation about Israeli military tactics in a combining that has killed more than 30,000 people. The airdrop of humanitarian aid by the United States of America to the people of Gaza is not as a result of sudden surge of human feeling or a newfound awakening of conscience. The decision to drop aid into Gaza from U.S. aircraft was made based on advice from legal advisor to mitigate the risk of being accused of complicity in genocide, particularly for those who supply weapons without strict condition on their use against civilians. A report issued by the Euromed High Right Minister stated that there is no new evidence confirming Israel's full involvement in the floor massacre of starving Palestinian civilians that took place on Thursday, 29 February. From the report, I would like to quote several recent developments confirm Israeli full involvement in what has been dubbed the floor massacre, revealed Euromed Human Rights Monitor in the news statement referring to the killing of Palestinian civilians attempting to receive humanitarian aid at the drown last Thursday. Last Thursday, the UN Secretary General met with some Palestinian survivors of the current Israeli genocide and listened to them firsthand. He tweeted, I was deeply moved by the horrific testimonies I heard of families, members of victims of the war in Gaza today. Some lost over 100 relatives. This horror must stop now. The UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territory, Francisca Albanese, stressed that the arms embargo and economic sanctions on Israel are the only way to stop the genocide in Gaza.
In all, humanity around the world are clamoring for a calm between the Israeli and Palestinians. Kindly give a thumbs up to the subscription button and follow us up on every other social media platforms. Patience Subot for VMAX TV.